Life in prison, eligible for parole in 12 years. That's the sentence the Crown and defense are seeking for Brian Kyle Thomas, the man convicted of killing transit driver Irvine Jubal Fraser in February of last year. It was an emotional day as family and friends of Jubal Fraser read out victim impact statements in the court. Fraser's brother, Dean Byron, through tears turned to Thomas at one point saying, "I just want Jubal back. You don't know what you did, buddy. You don't really know." Thomas's defense lawyer outlined the tragic life of violence, abuse, and homelessness that he says was all Thomas knew leading up to the vicious stabbing attack. Mary Ash isn't blaming Jubal for what happened, but did indicate to the court that it was only after Jubal put Brian in a chokehold and bent him backwards over a railing to get Thomas off the bus that an escalation of events occurred.
It's never okay to take your hand and place it around the neck of someone on your bus. Even if you've asked him 20 times to leave the bus, it is never okay to resort to physical violence.
The court learned Thomas has ADHD, fetal alcohol syndrome, a history of solvent abuse, and a low IQ. The defense highlighted the impacts of the Indian Act, residential schools, and colonialism that have affected and compounded later generations of First Nations people, still evident in the startling statistics found on Shamattawa First Nation, Thomas's home community.
Shamattawa is a community that has been ravaged by its isolation. It's one where violence is rampant and tantamount there. The homicide rates are off the charts. The suicide rates are uncomparable. So a reserve of 1,600 people to have one period of time, an 8-day period, where 39 individuals from that reserve attempted suicide, and in that period of time there indicates just how hopeless the living is there.
Jubal's friends and family didn't want to speak with City News outside of court. Cynthia Thomas, a family member of Brian Thomas's, saying she's praying for him.
I'm emotional about the Fraser family. I have no anger towards them. I feel for them. I feel for my son also. I have nothing against them. All I have to do is pray.
The sentencing of Brian Thomas has now been moved back into later July. Chief Justice Glenn Joyal hopes to have a resolution to this case by the end of that month. In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.